here to introduce the 38th head football coach at the University of Montana, Bobby Kennedy. First, a few words from Ken Haslam, and then we'll have Coach Kennedy come up. Media, I have a wireless mic. If you please raise your hand for questions afterwards. We'll have Q&A with Coach Kennedy, and then Q&A with Ken Haslam following that. And without further ado, my pleasure to introduce Mr. Ken Haslam.
So for years and years, I was told we need an indoor practice facility. We don't need an indoor. It's gorgeous out there. It's perfect. This is February day. Every day is like this in February in Missoula, Montana. Thank you all so much for being here. It's certainly been a whirlwind 36 hours, 38 hours, around in there. But yesterday was certainly about looking back and reflecting and showing appreciation. And today is about looking forward and the future of Grizzly football and what it means to this place, what it means to this university, and what it means to, obviously, a lot of the players that we have here. I knew they were here because there were a lot of electric scooters parked along the fence line. So loved it. I know there's a congregation of student athletes when there's electric scooters. And so we appreciate you being here and appreciate your willingness to put on the maroon and silver, represent this university in a place where people care. They care deeply. And I'm grateful for the opportunity that I have to be here. So I'm proud to work with Coach Kennedy. I've known him over the last year and gotten to know him better, and appreciate his willingness to step up and to lead this program, and to do it quickly and to do it with great energy. We have great resources here at the University of Montana. We have amazing facilities. We have the best fan base in college football. We're investing in revenue share. We're investing in nutrition. We're investing in doing those things that we think are necessary to keep this program at the top. And that's our goal. I'm not going to shy away from it. Our goal is to win conference championships. Our goal is to graduate student athletes. Our goal for this football program is to win a national championship. And I do not think that that is an outrageous goal. That is a goal that we can accomplish with what we're doing. And I'm excited to have Coach Kennedy lead us into the 2026 season. So without further talk from me, it's my pleasure to introduce Coach Bobby Kennedy, the 38th head coach of the University of Montana.
Well, first of all, let me say thank you, right? Thank you to Kent and the other senior staff that I know were huddling on short notice to try to find, you can't replace Bobby Houck, right? Like, not only is he a great head coach, or I should say was a great head coach, okay, but also the best special teams coach in America. And on a personal note, because I have the microphone, all right, I want to say thank you to Stacy and their beautiful daughter and to Bobby, because when Bobby called me last July, I think it was about 5 or 6 days until training camp, and he said, "Hey, I just lost my wide receiver coach, and can you come to Montana?" And I was actually eating with my wife, and I looked at her, I said, "Is it okay if I go to Montana?" And she goes, "Go, I'll be fine." So you can tell something about our relationship, right? She's definitely a football wife. But Stacy, thank you, because not many of you know this, but I've been their roommate for the past 8 months. I've been living in their basement. And I got to tell you this, I don't know if my wife would open up her house like you have. And I appreciate you. I love Bobby and your family. And so thank you. I really appreciate it. The other thing that I really wanted to touch on was, we've got great young men on our team, okay? And great accomplishments last year, but that is in the past. What we did, what we didn't do, that's in the past. I want to move forward with this team. We've got great guys, okay? Guys that come to work every day, great character guys. And trust me when I say this, okay? They are invested in moving this program forward. And I just want you guys in the back to know how much I appreciate you and your support. I've asked guys the last, 48 hours or whatever to stop by and coming into my office and really getting to know some of the guys. I knew them, but I want to really know them now, right? Because when you're a position coach, you're so focused on your group, what your guys do, and this and that. And my pledge to you guys, everybody in this room, right, that's a player here at the University of Montana, is I'm going to know you personally, and I'm going to invest in this team and invest in you and try to move this thing forward. Okay, not try. We're going to move this thing forward. Thank you. Okay. So I also want to say this, okay, about our staff. Our football staff is a great football staff, and take it from a guy that's been on many football staffs, okay? Our leadership, and obviously it started with Bobby, but there's Jimmy, there's Keaton, there's great people that have their hands in this program, okay? And I'm glad the university, number one, decided to choose me, okay, because I've looked forward to this day for a long time, but also to keep us together, okay, because, you know, going down the line, you know, on offense, when I came into this place on short notice, okay, and what I knew about Montana was Bobby Houck was the head coach, that I played for Joe Glenn at Northern Colorado, okay, and I knew football was really, really important to Grizz fans, but also this state. And I mean, it's Montana football, right? I mean, it has a ring to it. It says something. And so I want to thank our staff for welcoming me, because let me tell you this, on short notice, it's not the easiest thing to come in, learn the players. You know, Brent Pease, okay, I believe he's the best offensive coordinator in America. I really do. Like what he does, what we do on offense is truly special and innovative, okay? And I want to thank him, number one, and Rob Fennessy and Justin Green, who was a great support to me, Cam McFarland, like great guys on this staff, okay? But also, what was really helpful was when I was getting set here and when I was coming in, our defensive guys, right? Like they embraced me, right? They welcomed me. And that's what, to me, Montana's all about, okay? That you can be from other places, you know, around the country, recruits, this and that, and know that, trust me when I say this, we are going to recruit Montana, and I'm going to be in as many schools, if not every school in the state. You're going to see me. I'm going to be visible. But we have a staff that does that too, that has a great reputation in the state. And when I say that we are going to make Montana a priority, it is a priority. It's a priority for us to recruit the good players in the state and to be in every school and have UM represented. So know that. That's something that we're going to do. And like I said, I could go on and on about our staff. I could go on and on about our players, okay? Because we have good guys in this room. We have good guys on this team. And like I said before, they are willing, right? And it's our job as coaches, right, to keep pushing them and to keep getting them better every day. And like I said about our staff, we have the right staff to do that. So I'm really excited. And I mentioned, right, our defensive staff with Roger Cooper, Tim Houck, Mike Linehan, Kim McLeod, like great guys. You can be proud of those guys, okay? The other thing that I'd like to say is this to our players and our team, okay? And it comes from our staff, but it's also going to be you guys, right? We're going to represent the University of Montana the right way, and you have, okay? You have. And Coach Houck has done a masterful job, okay? A masterful job with these guys and what we do and what we represent. That's going to continue. We are going to get our degree from the University of Montana. We're going to go to class, represent ourselves in the right way. But let's not forget about football, okay? Let's not forget about football. Our goal, okay, is to win the Big Sky Championship, but ultimately the national championship. And that's what we are setting dead aim for, okay? And trust me when I say this, okay? As long as I'm in this position, that's going to be my goal. That's going to be my purpose every day. And every day when I coach these guys, and they're going to get our best as a staff and my best as the head coach. But know this, okay? This is going to be my last job, okay? Whether it's long, let's make it be long, okay? Okay? Or however long it is, let me say that, right? Like I want this to be my last job, okay? I want to do it with these guys, and I want to do it with these players in back, and I want to do it with the great Grizz fans and the people of Montana. So thank you. I don't know if you can tell, I am jacked, okay? I am jacked, and I am ready. I'd say we're ready to get to work, but trust me when I say this, we've been working, okay? And once again, I love the Hawks, and I can't repay you enough. Thank you, Bobby, for retiring, okay? But also, I wanted to recognize two people that are here, and I almost ended without doing this, but I've got my lifelong best friend here, and I apologize that my wife is not here, okay? You will see her, okay, LaShonda. You will see her. Love of my life, okay? I hope she says that about me. But two of my dear friends, my best friend from kindergarten, all the way till now, Bruce Lippian is here, and his wife Susan. They heard about this, and they said, we are getting on a plane today. And they've been here 3 or 4 times. But it was important for them to be here. It was important for me to have your support. And thank you to the players that are here. Because, listen, this thing doesn't work without you guys, okay? And you guys are important. You guys are special. And let's get to work. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Open it up to.
Yes, absolutely. And hey, I also forgot it. Did I mention Brent Myers, our new offensive line coach? Let's give him a hand.
I'm not sure if this microphone's going to work. There we go. Okay, we're going to have some questions from the media now, and we'll just pass the mic around.
Coach, when were you first asked about the possibility of taking over as head coach? How long did it take you to say yes, and why do you want to be a head coach when you've been a position coach your entire coaching career?
Yes, so I'll answer that last question first. I've had the opportunity to be a head coach before, okay? I did not take that opportunity because I was at a really good place, and I was experiencing not only my position, but as a team, some incredible success. And I wanted to make another run at something that I thought was really special. But I've interviewed for a number of jobs. I finished second a couple times. I think they really screwed up, okay? But anyway, I've wanted to be a head coach. You know, like I told you, my friend Bruce Lippian is here from Austin, Texas. And I remember when I grew up in Boulder, Colorado, we used to ride our bikes up to the Buffs practice almost every day. And whether it's Chuck Fairbanks or Bill McCartney, I was like, that's what I want to do, okay? And I always believe this, right? Whether you're a head coach or you're an assistant, right? How you have an impact on players is most important, okay? My role thus far has to be an assistant. I think I've had a really positive impact on a lot of players. I talk all the time, and you'll see it, I wear it every day, okay? My guys know this, and it says right now, it says Montana wide receivers, the family you choose. It's kind of one of my mottos. But wherever I've been, okay, they chose me, I chose them, we chose each other, so let's make it special, right? And that's been my goal. But having an impact on players has always been my priority.
And then just back to the timeline, just when were you first asked about it, and how long did it take you to decide this is something you want to do, and just how did you come to that decision?
Yeah, well, it was relatively soon after Bobby talked to Kent, and I think the process. I think our senior staff had a process that they had to go through, but it was I would say relatively soon. And to answer your question, how long did it take? Yes. Okay. So I mean, this is one of the premier jobs, if not the premier job, right? I believe in college football. Okay. And so to me, I mean, I've been hitting the head, but it doesn't take me that long to say yes. Okay. And also, to be quite frank, my goal too was to do the best thing for our players and to keep the staff together. And I think we have a great staff. And so that was another reason why I wanted to do it, and the reason why I said yes so quick. And Kent assured me of that. So thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Coach, you've been in football your whole life. You've said you wanted to be a head coach one day. How would you describe just what this moment means to you right now?
Special, right? Because, opportunities, they come and they go. But when you feel that you're a fit, and like I said, that had to do with Bobby, right, and Stacy, and the offensive staff, Coach Pease, and the defensive staff, and the players, right? Like, it was apparent to me, okay, like when you enter a new staff, especially at late notice, okay, that you're like, yeah, this is going to work, right? And not to bore you all, but as training camp went on into the season, when I got home for Thanksgiving during our first bye, and I think I told you that my wife said, "You really love it there, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And she goes, "Do you feel like you're a fit?" I said, "Yeah, I think I'm a great fit." But once again, that doesn't happen without players embracing you and with the staff embracing you. And so I'm most thankful for those guys because, like I said, this is a special place, and kind of reminds me where I grew up in Boulder, very similar, right? It's like this is a special place, and I'm really fortunate to be standing here. But have I wanted to be a head coach? Absolutely. And tell you the truth, I think I was a good assistant. Was I okay? Okay. I think Stace? Okay, I think I was a good assistant, but I always thought like managing people and getting people on the same page and not getting them to do what you want them to do, but getting them to do what's best for them and what's best for the team. So yeah, I think I've been able to do that as a position coach, and now I'm looking forward to doing it as a head coach.
What have you learned from being around a lot of different head coaches, and what kind of attributes do you think you were going to bring to the table as a head coach?
Yeah, so I'll tell you this. I've been around some great guys. Starting with, we can go down the line from John Malkovich to Joe Paterno, to Joe Tiller, Jim Caldwell, Rick Neuheisel, like so many guys. Kirk Ferentz, John Embry, David Shaw, right? I think I mentioned Kirk Ferentz. Like I've been around great head coaches, and Mac Brown. Gosh, I'd hear about that one now. Okay, like Mac Brown, like Mac, right? He was a guy that you want to talk about managing people and pushing people the right way. Like I take that from him. David Shaw, right, and Jim Caldwell, such smart guys, and like player driven, right? Player driven. And if you ask me like what I want to be player driven. I want to be Montana driven, okay? And what's best for the University of Montana, what's best for our players, okay? Those are the things. But taking bits and pieces, Bobby Houck, God, how can I forget Bobby Houck, okay? Right? Let me tell you, as good as any guy on that list, okay? As good as any guy on that list. And like being around special people and being around what I think are some of the legends in the game, okay? Yeah, right? Hopefully that's had a big impact on me, and I can take bits and pieces of things that maybe I really, really liked, and things that maybe were a little unique. How's that? Okay?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
On that note, what sort of things have you learned this last year from Coach Houck just about Montana football?
Yeah, so the culture, right? Like there's a way we do things, and the schedule, and being consistent, and the toughness of how we practice, right? And I'm going to tell this to the players, okay? And, you know, the things that are important, trust me when I say this, we're going to do and Coach Houck has done, okay? But, like, I see his organization and his detail, his fire, okay? I'd like to say that he's got fire, but, you know, I got a little juice too, okay? And so I've taken away so much. And the other thing I'll say too is being his roommate the last 8 months, right? It's been good to pick his brain, right? And to see the other side of him at home. But I will say this, okay? I told him, I said, listen, if we're going to live together, okay, when I come home, you're not the head coach, okay? Like, we're roommates. So understand, like, no, this is the way it's going to be. No, we're going to talk about it, and we'll come to a conclusion. No, I'm just joking. I've joked with him about that, but I'll tell you, I have such respect for him and the way we do things, from the Thursday meetings to the practices in the stadium on Friday to going outside when it's cold and guys are looking at, well, God, we do have a beautiful bubble. And trust me when I say this, if I'm lucky enough to be here a long time, we're just getting started. Okay? So, is that all right? Okay? But anyway, I've learned like so much from Bobby, and just being around him in those intimate settings, like, you know, there's a Montana way. And you know, it ain't broken, so let's not screw with it.
Yeah, how do you continue to sort of push that Montana way forward, but also make it your own and sort of put your stamp on it as a head coach?
Yeah, well, same thing, right? From all the head coaches that I've been with, right? You have to, like I said, take bits and pieces of the good things that when you were an assistant, and hopefully implement, okay? And to me, pushing Montana forward, right, is, God, I see our staff every day, right? We're not just saying, oh, hey, we had a great year last year, let's roll out the ball. Like, we're looking at tape, we're evaluating, right? Like, trust me when I say, like, we're doing the little things every day to push this place forward. And here's my charge, and I'm going to say this. I told the staff this morning, right, that number one, not only am I honored to be the head coach, okay, and to be chosen to be the head coach, but I trust Brent and the offensive staff. I trust Coop and Tim and the defensive staff, okay? My deal is, okay, I got to get out. I got to hit the ground running. I got to recruit. I got to be around the players, right? That's how I'm going to push this thing forward, okay? And when I say that you will not find anybody, like, you all will probably get sick of seeing me, okay? Because I plan on being out, and I plan on being very present.
Congratulations, Coach. Just this is kind of a broad question, but you've mentioned just, you know, your coaching experience, the guys you've worked with. How would you, I guess, describe kind of your core values when it comes to coaching, like your philosophy? What kind of has stood out throughout your career that's worked and maybe you've learned from? Just what would you describe maybe that being?
Yeah, you know, to me it goes back with what I said about, like, the family you choose, right? If your players believe that you have their best interest at heart, you chose them, they chose you, they chose this place, right? Then now we can focus on getting better, okay? I also believe this. There are different styles of motivation, okay? I go back to a time when I recruited a great kid at the University of Texas. Shout out to Keenan Robinson, okay? And he was on campus a short time and did something that wasn't egregious, right? But, you know, I brought him in and I kind of dressed him down. And not that there's not a time and a place for that, but, you know, sometimes it's good to find out all the facts before you do that. And so part of my philosophy is, right, to listen, right, to have, like everybody says, open door policy, right? But those are the things I want to do, right? I want to be player driven, okay? And I want to be in this state driven, okay?
Obviously, Coach Houck yesterday mentioned it's been changing landscape, right, the last several years in college football and just kind of where it stands. Just, I wanted your thoughts on where it is and, how you maybe might attack some of these challenges where, things change every day and what college football is today and how you kind of view it.
Yeah. So here's the fact of the matter, right? Right now that the transfer portal and NIL is here, right, for the foreseeable future. The thing that I don't think gets talked about enough is people, I'm going to get in the portal, I'm going to get in the portal. And you read about all the guys that signed for this big money or this or that, and, oh, hey, I'm going here. The guys you don't read about are the guys that didn't make it, right? And so remember this, right? There's risk. Like, we went out and we got a bunch of guys in the portal that we think are really good, and we're glad to have them, okay? We also recruited a bunch of high school guys, right, that we really like and are glad to have them, okay? But what I would say the landscape of college football right now, it's not for me to judge whether it's right or wrong. It's the system that we have, okay? And we're going to work within those boundaries. And I always believe this, right? When you're at a special place, when you're at a really good place and you have a chance to do special things, okay, the grass isn't always greener, okay? Like I mentioned to you or everybody before, I had a chance. I'm not going to name the place, but I had a chance to be a head coach before. But I was at a special place, and I didn't think that was as good of an opportunity or that I was going to be there that long if I took that job. Not that I couldn't get it done, right? But the fact of the matter is, right, you've got to have support, and you've got to have people that are willing to support you and your goals and your team, your team to be really good. We've had that here, right? I mean, there's no secret why Montana is the University of Montana, right? Why this place has been good, okay? And so the NIL thing, like, I think it's good. I think it's fair here, okay, with what we're doing. Doesn't mean we can't change in the future or this or that's not going to happen. But trust me when I say this, the grass isn't always greener. And I said this when Coach Houck asked me to come here, okay? I found pretty green grass.
Last question for me, just as you got the job now, the dust is settling a little bit. How do you kind of view the next couple of weeks as you kind of get going, and what do you kind of prioritize now as you kind of get the wheels rolling on this one?
Yeah, well, dust hasn't settled yet. Okay, I mean it's been a hectic, hectic 48 hours or whatever it is. But we're in the start of winter conditioning. Our guys have been doing a great job lifting, and now they're running a couple days a week. Our focus is on, number one, doing the best job we can for these players, keeping this team together, okay, and getting ready for spring ball. Because, once again, hey, this is like, I was an assistant, okay, now as a head coach, like, I'm not looking in the past, not looking forward, I'm looking right now. Right? So the first thing is spring, getting through the mat drills and winter conditioning, and then hitting spring ball full speed.
Go a couple more.
Couple quick hitters. Are you still planning to coach wide receivers, taking over as the head coach too?
Yes, through the spring, I plan on coaching wide receivers, but I'll be involved, right? And like I said, we've got a great offensive staff. I think it's my charge to, they run the offense, Tim run the defense, right? We're gonna. I don't know if this is an announcement yet, but I'd like to hire a special teams coach because I thought I lost the best one in the country. Okay, and so, like my plan is the vision and recruiting and being accessible but also doing football. But like we've got really good guys in our staff, and the X's and O's are covered.
And then are you keeping the entire staff, and is everyone staying in the same roles they had been in?
Yes.
And then if I read in your bio correct, it looked like 2017 and 2023 you weren't coaching anywhere. If that's right, what got you out of coaching and what drew you back into it?
Yeah, so in between 17 and 18, I took a year off. Okay, I had things happened at the University of Iowa, which sometimes it happens in this business, right? If you're a coach, you're going to get hired, and sometimes you always get fired, right? But that was after great success, right, at Iowa. And my wife and I thought, you know what? Let's take a step back. And I always think this in coaching, right? Like, it was really good for me to take a step back, go visit different places, okay? Get refreshed, right? Because this job, right, I don't care if you're an assistant or if you're a head coach, right? Obviously, there's more responsibility, different responsibilities when you're a head coach, okay? But, you know, there are things that sometimes taking a step back, seeing how other people do things, getting refreshed, okay? I think it benefits you. And be quite frank, it was between 17 and 18, that was a really good time for me. I visited Stanford a couple times. David Shaw got to know me, and he ended up hiring me, right? And so that was a great thing. And like I said, the thing that's most important for me is, where do you fit, okay? Tell you the truth, I thought I really fit at Stanford. I liked coaching there. I liked my players. I had a great room. I recruited great guys. It was great. After the Stanford thing ended, I had a couple opportunities. I didn't think they were right for me. And so if I sit out, do something else, my wife was ready for me to go back to work, but she didn't have a say in it. So that's part of it. So.
How excited are you to now be in a role where you can kind of bring and have an imprint on certain things? You're like, man, I would love, I've seen coaches do this a certain way. I would like to maybe tweak it and do it this way. How excited are you to kind of put more of what you want to do into things? And then what is that like as far as like meeting with the staff in the next few weeks, talking about how you want to do things? And do you anticipate any schematic changes?
Yeah, so what I'll tell you is this, and I said this earlier about our offense and defensive staff. These guys are constantly, right, like constantly looking at pro stuff and different college stuff and what can we tweak, what can we do better, right? So obviously, like, I'll have a role, right, but and a say, okay, but I trust these guys, okay? I've been in the room. I see the way they work. I see what they do late at night and, in the office and how they prepare. So I have full confidence in this staff. But yeah, like, there'll be some things that like I said, I've got to be me, okay? And maybe the players will find that out very soon.
Let's go one more.
You haven't been coached too long, but I think it speaks volumes that these guys behind me are all here. Have you had a chance to address them, coach to players yet? And
yeah, so I have. Yesterday morning, when Bobby told the team that he was going to retire, and he was unbelievable, like speaking from the heart and what what's been important about this place and these players and what's for him. And then right after that, Kent came in the room and they announced me, and I was kind of happy. I was kind of relieved that it was a pretty good response. So it was, whew, I was like, boy, dodged that bullet. Okay, so yeah.
All right, thanks so much, everybody, for being here. We'll have Kent stick around. If anybody has questions for Kent Haslam, we can have Kent step up to the podium if there's any questions. Otherwise, have a great afternoon, and thank you for being here.
One last thing. Go Grizz.